Hello, everyone, and welcome to Multifaced Realms. And here we discuss different adaptations and everything related to them. And we have three hosts. My name is Lina, and my job here is to tell you a little bit more about roots and origins of the famous stories.
And my name is Teresa. My personal interest in this podcast is about every adaptation there is. So like from the original stories to the movies or like to the games.
And my name is Sophie, and I'm here to tell you about the public opinion, how people reacted to the adaptations compared to the original, and if there was any drama or scandal worth your attention.
So, today we have a magical topic, Harry Potter one. We are going to talk about the books, movies and games, and also obviously how the public has embraced them. So, first of all, what is Harry Potter? Harry Potter is the story of a boy who discovers at the age of 11 that he is a wizard. He is accepted into Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, where he makes friends, Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger. The main antagonist is Lord Voldemort, a powerful dark wizard who tried to kill Harry as an infant, but for some unknown reason was defeated. Over the course of 7 years, Harry learns grown up and prepares for a decisive battle with Voldemort. The universe is built on magic. There are spells, magical creatures, schools, ministries, magical items, and its own social problems like discrimination against muggleborns. The story combines fantasy detective friendship, growing up, and the struggle between good and evil, touching on deep themes of love, sacrifice, and choice. So, as always, we will start with origins. Origins, again, are books. The author is Joanne Rowling. She came up with the world of Harry Potter during an ordinary train ride when there was a travel delay. That's when an idea was born in her head, a story about a boy who discovers he is a wizard. But the story from idea to book was a long one. The first novel took 7 years of work. Rowling thought out every detail, from the faculties of Hogwarts to the rules of Quidditch and magic spells. However, not everyone believed in the success. 12 publishers refused to publish the book, believing that the story of wizards will not be interesting to anyone. When finally Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone saw the light, the success was instantaneous. Under contract, Rowling wrote one book a year, but after the fourth part, she decided to take a short pause to deepen the plot. The last books became more dark and serious, which reflected not only on the style of narration, but also on the fate of the characters. At the same time, the work on the series took place in difficult periods of her life. She had diverse financial difficulties, loss of her mother, and these experiences were reflected in the books, especially in the image of Dementors, so personifying despair and loss of hers. But despite all the difficulties, the basic idea remained unchanged. One of the first scenes she wrote was the final battle. It was a moment she kept secret throughout the entire work. The Harry Potter books are inspired by classic literature. Major influences including Tolkien with his Lord of Rings and Lewis, author of The Chronicles of Narnia.
So Harry Potter is not just a series of books, but also a phenomenon that has been reflected in movies as well. Between 2001 and 2011, 8 movies based on J.K. Rowling's novels were released. They became iconic, but as is often the case with the screen adaptations, they were not without changes. For one thing, the adaptations required downsizing. So to fit into the movie format, the creators eliminated or simplified many plotlines. Secondly, the characters were changed. The most striking example is Professor Dumbledore. In the books, he was depicted as calm and wise, while in the movie he was sometimes abrupt and emotional. Another important difference is the simplification of the themes. The books dealt with complex social issues such as the rights of house elves or prejudice in the magical world. In the movies, these themes were either minimized or eliminated altogether. There were also altered or added scenes created purely for dramatic effect. Other than that, the visual style of the movies evolved along with the story. The first part were light and fairy tale, conveying the atmosphere of the discovery of the magical world, but with each new movie, the story became darker, along with Harry's maturation and the increasing threat of Voldemort. The film have been a huge success, over $7 billion at the global box office, but have elicited different reactions from fans. Some appreciate them for the excellent transfer of the atmosphere, others also criticize for departing from the original. In addition to the main series, spin-offs such as Fantastic Beasts were released, which expanded the magical world but received mixed reviews. Nevertheless, the legacy of the movie is great. They inspired theme parks, merchandise, and new projects, which means the magic lives on to this day.
When the first film adaptation of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone came out, in 2001, the world instantly fell in love with the magical universe on screen. The first 3 movies stayed pretty true to the books. The characters were recognizable, the plot is logical, and the magic feels real. There weren't any significant plot holes, maybe some plot cracks, but they weren't critical. They still could be ignored. But with each new movie, it became more difficult to fit all the details of the books into the limited time frame. Goblet of Fire was the one movie where the difficulties began. The pace of the narrative quickened, the story became more chaotic and skipped some really important parts, but still was coherent. The Order of Phoenix, however, for the first time seriously showed that that's the main problem of screen adaptations. Something always has to be cut. For example, scenes at the Ministry of Magic were crumpled, and fans completely disliked that, because they said that all the tension and all the fear for the fate of the characters just evaporates. They're all together. What's the problem? It's not like Harry is alone, surrounded by Death Eaters, and then Sirius and other guys from Order of Phoenix come to save him because he's alone. No, it's like the whole gang in there. Like, where's the tension? Where's the fear? What's the problem? Just use some spells. And also many fans completely hated the battle between Dumbledore and Voldemort, because it looked like 2 children are just poking each other with a stick. Not even a magical wand, just with a stick, and shouting something in the air. And it looked more like a parody, more like a theatrical thing, not as a battle between 2 greatest wizards of the world, of the age, of all times, excluding the ones who, like, built Hogwarts, obviously. And the fans also said that the battle between Minerva and Snape in Deathly Hallows is more of a fight and is more reliable and more believable on the screen than what Dumbledore and Voldemort had.
But I think actually it starts before that, like they change a lot of stuff also in the first 3 movies. I think like Ginny is not
the
really
whole character development of Ginny.
The character development of Ginny is like not in the movies. She's just there, you know.
Let's be honest, in the books too, like it really felt like John remembered about her existence somewhere in the Goblet of Fire, because there was this like jewel ball happening, and she was like, "Oh wait, I have to find like someone for Harry to dance with. Oh my god, who did I? Oh wait, I have Ginny somewhere there. She is existing somewhere in the Gryffindor common room.
But still, the character in the movies and the books are really different.
They are different, yeah.
Like last time I read Harry Potter was when I was like 7. So I
Same.
not remember all of the details.
I was 17.
So you remember more. But I think the problem may be a little bit the same as with Witcher, but we discussed that if you started with books, you will be more like fan of the books. If you started with films, you will be more fans of the films.
Yeah.
It's like, where did you start?
Yeah.
That's it.
And I think like the one that reads the books will most likely to be disappointed when they see the movie, because they just have, in the books it's just like,
it's your imagination.
It's like your imagination, and like it's more detailed than the one in the movie anyway. Like the character development they are more deep.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
But
and also books have more time and more space
for
to
True.
include it.
True.
Books aren't framed in like a 2-hour mark, because like
Yeah.
anything over 2 hours wouldn't be
and also
thought
when
that
it
good.
comes to character development, we need to remember when in books you can write inner thoughts or feelings, you can describe them with words. But when it comes to visual representation, obviously it's like actor's game, but it's still limited. You can't play out every your thought.
You still
So-
have to come up with something to show.
Of course, it's not like it's impossible to show deep,
Yeah,
but I
it's-
think it's just easier in books.
Yeah. Like
Much
in
easier.
movies. Yeah, in movies it's like rather hard.
And,
Because
and also talking about emotions and such stuff, the Half-Blood Prince missed the key moments of the books, like the Harry's suffering, that his his attempts to live with the Sirius's death, and like Ron and Hermione's relationships, or important details about the Horcruxes.
I think this one movie is one of the most cutted, because I
Yes.
remember when I read the books, I remember that this one was one of my favorite. But when it comes to films, it just feel a little bit messy, because it's easy to get distracted. They telling something, but you don't really understand what is going on, because you don't know the whole backstory if you didn't read the book. You just something maybe depressing, something like it's going on. Yeah, it's darkish, true, but the whole Half-Blood Prince movie, just I'm talking only about movie, but it feels kind of like a filler between the last arc and the previous. It's just there.
Like the only really important and interesting part you get is where, spoiler alert, Malfoy wants to kill Dumbledore, and actually Snape kills him.
Yeah.
That's like, in the movie it felt like everything before was either a filler or just a good start for something bigger, and they didn't have time for it. Because
Yeah,
like all
true.
this Horcruxes thing, it had so much more time and explanation and reasons in the book. It was all discussed, and like as far as it could be being the prohibited topic, but still it was discussed as far as possible and explained. And also the backstory of Voldemort's family was also brought to our attention, so we can understand the whole situation better. And in the movies, we got almost
basically
Nothing?
nothing. Yeah.
A book of Snape with all the hints. That's it.
Yeah, like
That's the only
Yeah.
thing that I remember, that it was darkish and the book. That's it.
Yeah.
But what they did good actually was splitting the Deathly Hallows in 2 parts, because this
Yeah.
way they had like more time.
I think it's a unique situation, because usually when
Absolutely
you
unique.
split, it's getting worse, because they just trying to get more money for the last part. But with Harry Potter one, it was a good idea.
Yeah, it was a good idea. I think I personally would like it if they do it to every part. To be honest, like
It would be nice.
it would be nice that we could get like more explanation, more background.
Actually, I think with the very first part, it's okay to be one film.
Yeah,
probably.
the first one, yeah.
maybe starting like fourth.
Yeah, when
Yeah,
it gets
yeah.
more dark and serious. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because like The Prisoner of Azkaban is still pretty good fit for one film,
Yeah.
but starting with like Goblet of Fire, it just starts to
Yeah,
be
I
chaotic.
remember. It's first of all, you really see different style from that particular film, but also you can feel the like messiness. It's starting to came out. It just everything happens too quickly. It's the problem with the film. Obviously, they're discussing now how to make a series out of Harry Potter. Will it be good or no? We don't know, because I think it's under the danger of changing like almost everything, and obviously a lot of people won't be happy about this, because Harry Potter fans is a really big community still, which is still alive.
Yeah, and they still appreciate the way the characters look like in the movies.
Yeah, I think actually it's not enough time have passed to recreate like the just original Harry Potter stuff. You know, I can understand if they will make, for example, the Marauders backstory.
Oh, the Marauders. Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah, you can see the reaction right now online, alive. But I mean, it will make perfect sense. It's really popular inside the community. It wasn't on the screen, so everyone will be obsessed. But when you try just to make original story again, it wasn't that long time ago. People still people still remember all the movies. People still know them. You know, when it comes to Star Wars, the first parts that were created like a long time ago, I can understand why they at least thinking about doing this. But there are still some cinephiles kind of that likes classics, and it's fine. But with Harry Potter, come on, it's still too young to be like recreated that much. I think the Marauders ones are more potentially, I don't know, I don't want to say useful, but it's only word that in my mind right now.
I think like more people would like it if the series become like the side stories from Harry Potter.
Yeah, probably, but not like a Beasts one, maybe.
Oh, no.
Fantastic Beasts
is just a disaster. Not that big of a disaster,
but still,
there is worse.
But I think the problem with series might be that you probably would like to say that, but I'm sorry, that new generation sometimes already think that Harry Potter kind of a little bit cringy. Yeah. And I think that they will try to make series for younger generation. And the older fans will be like, what the hell going on here? And the younger generation will probably still not like it very much, because they know that it's like a story from 10 years ago.
Millennials.
Okay, not 10 years ago, maybe 30 years ago, but still, you know.
It's already ancient, for them.
For them,
because it's mostly connected and like given that the beige Potterhead is mostly given to the millennials.
But I think it's the same with like in our generation with Star Wars. You know, we still have some people who really in love with this.
I do.
But it's okay, I'm not judging. I'm really fine with Star Wars. I'm just telling that I know and I notice from like people of my age and, you know, maybe 3 years older, younger, that some of them are just like, Star Wars, this old movie, you know. And I'm just like, it's, first of all, it's not that old. Second of all, it still lives, but it's not like, you know, obsession for everyone, but I would say like 50-50.
Mandalorian was an obsession for everyone.
Well, yeah, this one, but I think it's a good example when you take
side story.
Yeah, so I think this what should be done with Harry Potter, and not just original recreation.
The story still deserves an original recreation with the better transfer of the stories that were in the books to the screen, because fans, when they got the rumors of the series coming, probably somewhen, the fans were pretty happy about that. The younger ones, the elder ones.
Do we have the date?
Not yet. We don't have like anything. We have like the probable cast, and I couldn't find like any articles about that. They were just
just in the process.
just the rumors. And
Okay. But it's funny. I still will be watching, but for me, maybe because I'm not that big kind of Potterhead.
Yeah.
I would be more interested to see something related to main story and not just main story recreated. So, in the end, we have different types of adaptations. First of all, the books. These are the foundation, deep characters, complex moral dilemmas, and strong plot. Movies are a visual feast, but lose out some details. Each movie gets darker as well as books, darker and darker, reflecting the threat of Voldemort. The games are interaction and exploration of the world, but with less emotional immersion. So, what do audience love? The books remain unrivaled, though the movies are adored too, even though Fantastic Beasts divided audiences. But Hogwarts Legacy was a real eye-opener for gamers. So in the end, Harry Potter isn't just a story, more like a cultural phenomenon. The books set the foundation, the movies gave us visuals, and the games allowed us to become a part of this world. While some of the creators' decisions are controversial and others may be brilliant, the important thing is that magic lives on in the hearts of million people still. Regardless of the format, the magic of Harry Potter continues to enchant people of all ages. Each format adds something different, whether it's visual beauty or the opportunity to be in the world. So,
it's endless.
I think we can finish it here. Thank you for listening us. You can leave your comments below. Let us know what you like, what you don't like in this Harry Potter world. And see you next time. Or hear you next time.
Hear you next time, I suppose.